All right, what's going on? What's going on, class? I'm Dr. Danju again, and believe it or not, this is our final class for some homework tips and tricks. All right, we're going to be covering chapters 14 and 15 on this example that I'm providing you here. Now, please be reminded that with these tips and tricks, make sure that you understand how they work. Make sure that your Excel templates are working correctly, because on the exam, it will cover 5 questions out of the 10 within this section. So please make sure that you're taking your time on this. Today, what we're covering is this whole concept of regression analysis. With regression analysis, you guys can tell the strength, the correlation of your variables. You can tell and make predictions and forecasts of your variables. Ultimately, what we're doing is we're looking at independent variables, or one variable or more than one variables, and seeing how it affects our dependent variable. All right. So the independent variables, how it does affect the dependent, or the dependent variable. So a quick example of this is, for example, let's look at me trying to swing a golf club. How far can I hit the ball? All right, the total yards is my dependent variable. What does that depend on? It depends on some independent things actually happening. Like, how fast do I swing the clubs? At what angle do I hit the ball at? At what speed is it going at? All of those things add up to the distance, the total yards that is going to be included. So how does those independent variables affect the total distance? And based on a data set, can you tell if your data set is a good fit or not? Today, we're going to show you guys how to do just that. Are you ready for this last example? Let's go, let's go, let's go. So what I'm going to do with you all is to share my screen. All right. All right. Please be reminded that you can download this if you go into your course or your class resources. You look for chapters 14, 15, Excel's template, and download that, please. All right, I'm going to hide that. Please then go into Cengage. All right, and we're going to do chapters 14 and 15. So I've already have it downloaded right here. I'm going to move it to the side, and I'm going to grab my Excel document as well. If you can, please let's start off at 14.01, please. All right, waiting for Cengage to load here. All right, what you're going to be doing in chapters 14, all right, is basically a regression analysis. How does a regression analysis actually work? When you guys put your output over here at this orange box right here, everything else will be automatically filled in for you. And then all you do is answer your questions accordingly. All right. So I see Cengage is struggling right here. Give me a second. There we go. All right, so we're looking at 14.01. Bam. So if you can, please plug in this information like you see here. They have it in rows. All right, we're going to do them in columns. So plug in your XI values, please. And your YI values, please. All right, so you got your information in there. I'm going to maximize this so you guys can see the bigger view of my Excel. I'm going to scroll over. This is what the scatter plot looks like. All right, some of you guys are like, how do you actually do a scatter plot in Excel? All you will have to do is highlight your 2 variables in this example, click on Insert, and you'll see a little dotty thing right here, Insert Scatter, click it, and select the first one, and that is your scatter diagram. All right, so it's pretty cool. One other thing I want to show you guys, since I have this already here, how do you do trend lines? If you click on it itself, for Windows users, you can just click on this plus sign, go down to trend line, and it will put in there a trend line, the middle line between all of your dots. For Mac users, I believe if you click on, let me see, add a chart elements, go down to trend line, all right, and make sure you're using the one that says linear. All right, so that is our trend line. And can you believe it that from this line, we can make predictions within the lowest value of our data set and the upper value of our data set. We can make predictions with any number between 1 and 5, if that makes any sense to you. So we can decide and determine what will show up based on this data set. All right, so with that said, I'm just going to zoom out. I'm going to come back over here. We got our data. What I would like you to do is click on data, data analysis, regression. Scroll down until you see regression or regression analysis or linear regression. All right, click on OK, please. All right, this is vitally important. All right, when we're dealing with regression analysis, you have to know what your dependent variable is and what your independent variable is. Y is your dependent, X is your independent. So if I click in this dialog box for Y, I'm going to select from YI all the way down. Don't forget, YI is an index of numbers. All right, index, a library, a list of numbers. So the I, that's what that I represents. All right, so give me a second. Let me do that again. I think I got extra stuff in there from right here all the way down. All right, so it should just say B2 to B7. I'm not sure why it's adding. Okay, it's adding that it's coming from this tab right here. All right, but that's okay. All right, for your X values, click on XI, go all the way down. It should say from A2 to A7. Select labels, select confidence level at 95%. And what we want to do is click on output range, and we're going to put the output right at I13. All right, and then press on OK. All right, Splacka, your results show up right here. Now, a lot of you guys are going to see these results, but the whole point of these results is not that you have the results. What are the results actually saying? All right, so I'm going to zoom in just a tad bit. All right, when you see a R squared, all right, value of 93, you know that the correlation between these two variables are good, between your independent variable and your dependent variable. They are pretty good. Anything above 0.7 is considered a good fit. All right, so we see 93% up in here. We are looking at a good fit. All right, how many observation? What is your sample size? 5. Cool. Here is your F value. This is my test stat or T-stat value. So test statistic, or I'm just going to put test stat just to keep it nice and short. My F value is my test statistic. My significance of F is my p-value. Please make a note to yourself so you know what it's saying. If this number is a big number, anything over like 12 or 13, you can say that it is in the rejection zone. When it's rejected, what that means is that your independent variable, or at least one of your independent variables, if you had more than one, affects your dependent variable. All right. You can also use the significance of F to tell you that as well, your p-value. If your p-value is less than your alpha value, alpha was 0.05. Is this number less than 0.05? Hopefully you're saying yes. So therefore, you would say that this is in the rejection zone. So therefore, your independent variable affects your dependent variable. Now, once you guys start having multiple independent variables, they're going to be listed down here and go lower, as many as you have. You're going to see which exact one affects your dependent variable. All right. So here we got a p-value of this number right here. So yes, this one does affect the dependent variable. And in this case, the dependent variable, so we got xi and yi. And do they tell us what those are? No, they don't. All right, so what does your scatter plot look like? All right, it looks something like this. Make sure you select the right one. All right, with a trend line, which one is it? As you can see, is that first one is going up, so it's a positive correlation. All right, here is where we enter our information. If you scroll over and down, what is your B0? Remember, B0 comes first, B1 comes second. Let me do this really fast so you guys can see where this B0 and B1 is coming from. If I scroll down and I scroll over from this output, here is my B0. Here is my B1. B0 comes first, B1 comes second. All right. If you had another independent variable, that would be B2. All right. So this is how we get B0 and B1. Cool. So plug that stuff in, please. And watch this. Pay attention to your decimal places. 1 decimal place. Cool. Check your work. Make sure you're good. Make sure you did the right regression, all of that stuff. Okay, so this one was 3, and I selected 1. I should have selected 3 on that one. All right. Trend line, good. All right, so I got this right. I got this right. All right. Now for this one here, it says use the estimated regression to predict. Now, if your X is 5 in my example, can you predict what Y is going to be based on this data set? Absolutely. Now, please be reminded that you can only predict within your lowest X value and your highest X value. It ends at 5, so I can make a prediction on 5. Anything greater than that, you can't validate it with the data that you have. All right, so based on this, if I put X right here as 5, watch how automatically this updates. Enter, 13. So I'm gonna scroll down on this. All right, but watch this, y'all. Pay attention to this. They want to 1 decimal place. So you're gonna have to move this over to 1 decimal place. So I'm gonna maximize it. I'm gonna click on home. And I'm going to move it over to 1 decimal place. So my answer should be 13.2. Check your work. Good, 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 good. All right. So make sure your Excel template is set up for success, because this is an example that will be on your exam. All right, now with that said, let's move on to 14.18, please. This also will be on your exam. Scroll up. All right, so 14.18. All right, so enter your information right here. And watch this, y'all, where X is the price. This is your independent variable. Y is your overall score. This is your dependent variable. So plug it in as you see it, please. Remember, junk in is junk out. So take your time on these, please. All right, now that we have this, you guys get to do a regression analysis, data analysis, regression, okay. All right, this guy right here is my Y. This is my Y. All right, so get Y down. This is my X down. All right, labels, labels, labels. We're gonna put this output right here at I13 and press OK. Splacker, you got your results right here. All right, here is your B0, here is your B1. All right, here's my f-stat value. It's pretty big. So, I would say it's rejected. My alpha value is less than my significant f of a f value. So I would say this is a rejected type example. What that means is that my independent variable affects my dependent variable. All right, so let's plug in all of this information and see how we can get this rolling. SST, way down here. But guys, watch, this is 3 decimal places. All right, so if I were you, I would select these 3 and do home, move it over 3 decimal places. All right, so SST is way down here. SSR, SSE, all right, R squared is this number right here. R squared is this number right here. And RXY is this number right here. All right, check your work. Bam, 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 and bam. All right, now note to self, if I were you, all right, a lot of times you don't see RXY right here. If I were you, I would highlight RXY. All right, let me maximize this, make it bigger, make it bold, make it red. So that way you know. R squared. Make it bigger, make it bold, make it red. So that way you know which ones to select. Make it do what it do for you. All right, let's go to 14.21, please. All right. All right, so find 14.21. Not that one. All right, here we go. Plug in your information, please. And as you can see, here is your independent variable, here is your dependent variable. Most times the cost is a dependent variable, most times. So just be aware. Plug in your information, please. Let me see, can I highlight this? All right, copy that, paste that, cool, it's in there. All right, so copy it, paste it in there, and do a regression analysis, please. Data analysis, regression, okay. My Y, my X, labels that. I'm gonna put my output right there. All right, so that is correct. Click on OK. Splacker, you got your results right there. Let's start entering some information, please. All right, go back over one more. All right, what is my B0? Pay attention, guys. They came up with B1 first. B1 first. B0. And they want 1 decimal place. All right, 1 decimal place. All right, so B0 comes first. B0 comes first. B1 comes second. All right, let's check our work. Outstanding. All right, now right here, what is the variable cost? That is your slope. As how does X relate to Y in essence? What's the variable cost? So that one is 7.6. What is my R squared value? All right, R squared is this guy right down here. This one is 0.9. What is the percentage of this number right here? Isn't that 95.9? All right. What is the percentage of the variation in total cost? So this is your, yeah, it's kind of worded funky, but that's what they mean. All right, let me check my work just to make sure I'm right, leading you guys in the right direction. Cool. all right? And then here, it says, if the case is 500 units, so X is 500, go back over, X is 500. What is my predicted value? And round that up to a whole number. All right, check your work. Outstanding. Let's go, let's go. You guys are doing great. Keep up the good work. All right. This one will be on your exam, so make sure you get this one correct. MC 14.035. So let's go to that one. I thought I saw that way up in here. Yes, this guy. If the coefficient of determination is a positive value, then the regression equation could either be positive or negative. Don't mess this up on your exam, please. So it could be that or that. I'm going to give that a nice color so I know what I'm doing. All right, let's move on to 14.53. 14.53, please. Okay. All right, so here is the data set that they provide you. Click it, click it, click it, click it. Click OK. All right, maximize this and copy all of it. Copy all of that data. Control C. All right, push that over here. We're going to scroll up on this and paste it right in here. Just click on this one right here, paste. All right, so you got it in there. Let me close this one out. I'm going to maximize this and I want to see this. So I'm just going to do that, double click, and spread it out so I can see it all. All right. So we're looking good. We're looking good. All right. So we got everything that we need. Do a regression analysis on this one, please. Data analysis, and regression. Okay. This guy right here is your Y. This guy right here is your X. Labels that, we're going to put the output right here. Make sure that's at I13 and press on OK. Bam, you got your first set of data points right here. All right, now let's go back to this. All right, what does the scatter diagram look like? All right, so if I go to this guy, my scatter diagram is way over here. All right, so I got 3 and then dot. So if I were to choose, all right, it's either going to be this one or this one. Select the right one on your end, please. All right, you guys can answer these questions right here. But what is your B0? What is your B1? So let's do that. Let's look at our B0, B1. Now, they want 4 decimal places, 4 decimal places right here. So what we're going to have to do is expand this out to 4 decimal places right here. All right, so plug those in, please. B0 comes first. B1 comes second. All right, check your work. Scroll down. Outstanding. All right, for this second one, after looking at the scatter diagram in parts A, suppose you were able to visually identify what appears to be an influential observation. Drop that observation from the data set, all right, and do another regression. So I'm just going to maximize this. And just for a lack of time, which one? It's either going to be a low number or a high number. All right, so I see 132. That's way high. All right, what else do I see? Okay, so 132 seems like my highest number, but 132.54. Is there any of these that okay, so we got 114.56. All right. So which one are they talking about? Is it either on the arrival time? Let me see, influential. Let me see, make that smaller so I could see it all. Drop the observation from the data set and fit an estimated regression equation to the remaining data. All right, so visually identify an influential observation. I am not sure which one they're talking about, but in essence, what you're doing is copying this again, highlight it, copy it, scroll down, paste it right up in here, all right? And find the one that is like way out there, all right? So 132 seems high to me. On this one, we got 0, but we got 2 zeros. So I won't say there's more than 1 there. All right, so 132 seems like the highest one to me. All right, and 54, let me see, is there any more 50s in here? We got a 56 and a 114. All right, so these numbers are way too close. I wonder if there are more than one. It says an influential observation. All right. Doesn't give me any more clues. All right, so this one is 114 and this one is 56, but the 114 kind of falls within the rest of them. This one is 32, 132 and 54. So what I'm gonna do is just highlight this, delete it. All right, highlight the rest of these. I'm going fast on this, guys. So I'm gonna scroll this up, put that up there. Now I'm gonna do a regression analysis on this. So if I do data analysis, regression, okay. I'm gonna do, what is my Y? I'm gonna scroll down and get the second one. Okay, and then I'm gonna scroll over and get this one right here. All right, and then once I have that, labels that, output that, I'm gonna put this output way down here for my regression too. And I'm gonna click on OK. All right, and I'm gonna say OK. Give me a second. I got, okay, so give me a second here. I selected the wrong second one. All right, that one is this guy right down here. All right, click on OK. And you should have your output right down here. Here's my second output. Now, actually, what I'm thinking is they probably wanted me, now that I'm thinking about this, they probably wanted me to take the highest one out of this one and then the highest one out of this one and then do a regression analysis. So let me check to make sure. I'm going to make this into 4 decimal places. Once again, this is part of the reason why we go over this in class, because we want to make sure that we're understanding what is Cengage actually saying. All right. So it will be 147610. Well, let me see if that one works. Give me a second for my second one. And I'm just going to check my work just to make sure I'm on the right page, leading you guys in the right way. All right, so you see how that one is incorrect? So let's go back into this and let's see if I'm going to copy this again. All right, I'm going to copy this. Keep going. Copy that. And I'm going to paste it in there again. All right. Now, which is my highest number in this one right here? I would say 132. I'm going to delete it. All right. Everything else, I'll probably push upwards. All right. On this one, what is my highest number? So I got, let me see. Everything else looks, okay, so I got 56. You see, that's, and I got 54. So let me see, on the lowest end, which could be an influencer as well, everything else looks about the same because we got 11 here, we got 11 here. All right, so I'm just gonna take out 56 and move everything else up. Let me see if this works. If it doesn't, you guys are gonna have to figure this one out on your own. Let's go to data, data analysis, regression, okay. B2, yes, it's already selected. A41, yep, that's already B41, A41 labels. We're gonna put it at I51, good. We're gonna override that, okay. All right, perfect. Okay, so we're looking at 21. Let me see if that one is what they're asking for. Give me a second. Scroll that over. Let's see if it is. 5.2, check your work. The numbers are way too close. Yeah, so I'm not sure exactly how they're asking this. So take your time on this. Find the one that, after looking at the sky diagram, suppose you were able to visually identify what appears to be an influential observation. All right. It might be something different from what I looked at. All right. I looked at the highest number or the lowest number. It might be two combinations that are, one is way big and one is way small. You guys are going to have to look through this and figure out which one is the most influential outlier that is in your data set. Select that and see if you're going to get it. The point of this is once you get that, once you get these two, all right, then down here is what is your slope for the second one? And then what is the slope for your first one? 0.2543. That will be this guy right here. Check your work. All right. And that will be correct. So this one is this. This one is this number once you figure it out. All right. So not to waste any more time, we're going to keep pushing. All right. It's all about figuring out what exactly does Cengage want. Let's go to 15.09. All right. 15.09, when we initially did this, Cengage had this version of 15.09. So if you can, I'm going to maximize this so you can see this. If you can, for 15.09, double click right in the tab itself. All right. And make that 15.09 old. You can actually put a space in between there. All right. That is the old version. All right. What I want you guys to do is to create a new tab right here and just click on it. All right. And call that exercise 15.09 new. All right. So this is the new version. This is the old version. We're going to create a whole new data set for us in this one. So 15.09. Let's find that. All right, so right here. All right, so here's your data file. Click it, open it, maximize it. All right, and highlight it all, please. All right, so a trick and tip within Excel, if you select this first one and press Control A or Command A, it will automatically select your entire table. So copy it, Control C, Command C, move this over here. Paste this up here in the very first one, Control V, Command V, bam. All right, and then close this one out. All right, so you have your data set right here. We need to do at least 2 regression analysis. All right, they show you, they want you to do a scatter plot of the number of bedrooms and your selling price. Please note to self, I'm gonna double click between A and B to maximize that, and double click on that so I can see it all. Selling price is your dependent variable. Everything else is independent. All right, so I would even put something like Y, so that way you know it's your dependent variable and these are your X's. So I would make this X1 and move that over. I will make this X2, move that over, and I will make this X3 and move that over. So you have your data set right there. All right, now that you have your data set, you can do a scatter plot. All right, you need a scatter plot of selling price versus the number of bathrooms or bats. All right, so you can just highlight selling price bats, go all the way down. All right, and then do, I'm just going to maximize this so you guys can see this. Insert scatter plot and this one right here. All right, that is for bats. I'm just going to put it right on the bottom of this like that. All right, so I got my bat. All right, I'm going to go back to Cengage. They want one for selling price versus the square footage. All right, so I'm just going to do selling price. I'm going to select selling price. All right, if you press down on Control or Command, if you're a Mac user, hold down on Control or Command, select square footage and go all the way down. Then you can do Insert Scatter Plot. That guy. And this one is for square footage. Take it down right below that one right there and put it down there like that. All right, then they also want you to do one for selling price and bedrooms. So click on this all the way down and hold down in Control or Command, click on bedrooms and keep scrolling down. So you have those 2. Insert, scatter diagram, and bam, those are your bedrooms. All right, I'm just gonna go all the way down. All right, so we got those 3. Now we need to do a regression analysis. So when you guys go back to this, you can answer these questions, which scatter diagram looks like the one that you have. All right, so select those. Scroll all the way down. They want one for all 3 of them. All right, for bats, square footage, and bedrooms. Do you see bats, square footage, and bedrooms? How do you do a regression for multiple independent variables? I'm glad you guys are asking. This is what we do. Data analysis, all right, regression, click on OK. Your dependent variable, all right, I'm going to select this and I'm going to scroll up. My dependent variable, my Y, is selling price. Go all the way down. My X, the cool part about regression is you don't have to select them individually. You can click and drag over to as many independent variables that you have. I'm going to select them all from B1 to D27. Labels in my first row. I'm going to put my output. I'm going to scroll up. Guys, put your output right at, let's put it at, we'll put it at G1. Click OK, splacker. All right, here is your B0. Here is your B1. Here's your B2. Here's your B3. Now, you see how you can't really see this? If you double click between G and H, tricks and tips, you can actually see what this is saying. Hopefully that makes sense. All right. So on this first question, they say, what is your B0? What is your B1? What is your, yeah, all of that stuff. What is your B0? What is your B1? And they want 2 decimal places. All right, so if you highlight all of these, just change it to 2 decimal places, please. Like that. All right, and just plug in. Watch this, guys. You can just click it, copy it. Some of you guys will be able to do this, paste it. Listen, I ain't got time to do that manually. Copy it, paste it, click it, copy it, paste it, click it, copy it, paste it. Check your work, just to make sure. All right, we scroll down, outstanding. So we got that rolling. Now on this one, all they want is selling price, square footage, and bathrooms. That's it, all right? So we need to do another regression analysis on those last 2. All right, square footage and bedrooms. Do I have that right? Yep, square footage and bedrooms. So all you need to do is data analysis. All right, regression, click on OK. All right, so the A is still going to remain the same. Your dependent variables is still going to remain the same, A1 to A27. But for the dependent or for the independent variables, just change the B to a C, capital C, because all we're going to do is from column C to D, and that's all we need. We're going to put our output right below here at G23 and click on OK. Splaka, you will have your results right here. All right, so I'm just going to change this really fast to 2 decimal places. I'm not sure if that's what they're asking for, but I'm going to change it because that's what they did before. I'm going to slide that over there, and they do want 2 decimal places. All right, so click and copy, paste it in there. All right, and just check your work just to make sure you're on the right path. You guys can fill out the rest of these. All right, perfect. Now, here they're saying, suppose your house has 4 bedrooms and is 2,650 square feet. Can you make a prediction of how much the selling price is going to be right here? All right, so let's do that really fast. In this old version, you guys can use this as practice for players and how far they hit the ball and stuff like that. But what I want to do is copy this last part down here. All right, this part right here. So if you go into 15.09 old, you can highlight this. All right, highlight from this Y caret value all the way down, copy it, and come over to your new version. And we're going to paste that right below at G44, paste it. All right, so we got this. What is my B0? All right, just put equals to, click it, enter. What is my B1? Equals to, click it. What is my X1? All right, now X1 is square feet. How many square feet did Cengage say? So here is my square footage, 2650. 2650. All right, what is my B2? Equals to, click it. And what is my X2? What is my bedrooms? 4. All right, 4 bedrooms in my example. 4. All right, now we can make the calculations. It's equal to this plus this times this plus that times that. So equals to this plus this times that plus this times that. That's your formula. That's how much it costs. I like to put a comma in there so I could see how much it actually costs. You see the comma up here? All right. That is my value right there, $369,000 basically for this house based on those parameters that they provide me. I will slide that. Give me a second. I'll slide that back over there. and I will plug in to the nearest dollar. All right, to the nearest dollar. So if I were to make that a whole number, use Excel to help you with that. All right, I should be able to copy this, paste that in there, check my work, and I'm good to go. All right, good work, good work. This old version of it, you guys can use that as practice if you would like. All right, so with that said, let's go over to 15.13. This will show up on your exam, so make sure you get this one right on your Excel, please. All right, so 15.13, here we go. All right, I'm just gonna make that just a little bigger so you guys can see this. I'm gonna make mine just a tad bit like that, bigger. All right, the following estimated regression equation is based on 30 observations. Plug it in. All right, now you guys can type all of this stuff in there, or you can just leave it blank. All right, this is this equation right here. You can plug it in if you want it or not. It doesn't matter. It's not going to be a part of your equations. All right, p-value. What is your p-value? How many x values do you have? How many independent variables do you have? Do you see where it says x4? So that's how you know it is 4. If yours had said x5, you would make it 5. This is based on the total number of x's. What is your SST? So that is my first number. What is my SSR? Cool. How do I calculate my R squared? Here's the formula, grab it, paste it. All right, SSR, click it. SST, click it. All right, it should be like that, enter, cool. What is my R squared adjusted? Which means that it's including all of your independent variables. Copy the formula, paste it in here. R squared is this number right here. Click it, and click it, and click it, and P. Click it. All right. If this number is greater than 0.7, it is a good fit. Do you see it's greater than 0.7, it's 0.9, it's pretty good. In fit, plug in your numbers. Bam. All right, that one will be on your exam, so make sure you get that one right. All right, let's go to 15.20, please. Hopefully by now you're starting to see the pattern. You figure out what your X values are, your independent variables. This is your dependent variable. Can you figure out what your F stat, B0, and all of this stuff is? All right, so I'm just gonna, let me see. I'm hoping that they allow me to just highlight, copy, paste, bam. All right, so I'm lazy, y'all. It's not that I'm lazy. I just don't want to enter information incorrectly. So if I can copy it directly, that way I'm assuring myself of no errors. So once I have that, I can do a regression, data analysis, regression, click on OK. For my Y values, it's this guy right here. I'm just going to do that. All right. Actually, let me make sure I'm including the label because I want to know that that's Y. Cool. All right. And for my X, I'm going to include the label. All right. Labels, that. I'm going to put this output right at H1. Oh, make sure it's just H1 right there. Yes. And click on OK. And splacker, you will have your results right here. All right, so what is your test statistic? Please be reminded that your test statistic put equals to, I'm just gonna make that just a tad bit small. Well, I can't make it smaller right now. Is this number right here? That is your test statistic, L12, enter. I'm gonna make it just a tad bit smaller so I can see it. What is your p-value? Equals to. Here is your overall p-value. All right, what is my B? What is my TB1? Let me make sure that's what this is saying. Yes, TB1. All right. And what is my TB2? All right. I think they're saying what is my test statistic, but give me a second. How many decimal places? 2. Copy this, paste this in here. Let's make sure this is right first. Bam. All right, so you're going to look on your table and you're looking for TB1. So I'm just going to do on this, let me maximize it. All right, here is your TB1. I'm thinking it's either this number or it's this number. I'm not sure which one they're asking for. Let's check. So equals to, because you see the T test statistic for that guy. All right, let me copy this. Let me go back into Cengage. All right, and paste that in there. All right, yes. All right, so on this second one, it's equals to TB2. All right, and that's that. Copy that. Go back into Cengage, paste that in there. Check your work. You guys should be able to get the rest of these. Outstanding. All right, good work, good work. We are almost done. 2 more. Let's go to 15.35, please. So we got this. All right, we got repair time, and we got response or repair person and repair time, as well as either the dependent. All right, yeah, so this is going to be the dependent variable, repair time, and your independent variable is type of repair, repair person. All right, so I guess we are doing 2 of these. All right, and we're using these 2 right here. Time and type. Time and type is the first one, and then time and repair person is your second one. So I'm just going to do this really fast. Data analysis, regression. Okay. For my Y, what is my dependent variable? This guy. What is my X? This guy. All right, I'm going to put my output right here and press OK. Splacka. I got my results. Cool. All right, B0, B1. All right, you guys can plug that in. For my second one, data analysis, regression, click on OK. All right, so for this guy right here, I'm going to come from repair time down. All right, and then for my X, I'm going to come from repair person and down. All right, and I'm going to put my output right here at B40. Click on OK. Splacker. You got your results. All right, what is your B0? Equals to the first number. Enter. What is my B1? Equals to the second number. Enter. All right, and you have your equations right there. Plug in your information, and this is 15.35. All right, plug in your information. All right, this guy right here, actually this one right here is 4.62. Check my work just to make sure I got it all right. Bam, plug in that, and you can get your answers. All right, I kind of got to go to class, but we'll do this last one. This one will show up on your exam, so make sure you get this one right as well. All right, let me do this really fast. In a multiple regression analysis involving 10 independent variables and 81 observations, SST is 120, SSE is 42. The coefficient of determination is what? It is going to be this number right here. All right, but how do you actually check it? What happens if you show up to the exam and they change the numbers? Will you still be able to answer the question? Yes. How do you do it? Watch this, y'all. If you guys go back to the formula key for 15, scroll down. All right, go to 15, scroll down. We're going to copy SSR all the way down. These are right here. All right, so copy it and go back to MC, this guy right here. All right, and we're going to paste it right down here, Control V. All right, I'm gonna make this bigger, something like that. I'm gonna spread it out so I can see them all. Cool, let me spread it out just a tad bit more, something like that. All right, and watch how this works, guys. Watch how this works. I'll make that smaller so I can see it. SST 120, SSE 42. How do I calculate SSR? Here's the formula. Copy that. Paste that in there. All right, SST is this number. SSE is this number right here. Oh, SSE is this number right here. All right, so once I have that, watch how automatically this number updates. All right, so whatever number may show up, you have a process now to figure out your coefficient of determination. All right, so now on this one, yes, it will be that. All right. So guys, that is my class on regression analysis. We can actually use a line formula to determine whether something is dependent or not, whether it affects it or not on that dependent variable, whether our independent variables affect our dependent variables. Guys, you guys had a whole class on how to do business analysis using Excel. Go on out there and do great things wherever God places you. You got this. Let's go. See you later. Have a great future.